Painting started maybe like 12 years ago. Cut up an old skateboard and made a frame for it and sold it for like 40 bucks. And I was like, all right. I was doing graphic design before that, so it wasn't much of a leap. What I started out doing was painting in Photoshop, and I would add these layers and then paint the layers, and if I was happy with it, I'd merge it down. And I would do that and do that, who knows how many layers. But I approach painting in the same exact way. There's a thin layer of color and thin layer of color and just build it up. It's almost like you can't see a difference until the final result. When I did the first portrait of a rapper, I was actually commissioned from a good friend who wanted a portrait of Juice WRLD for her son's 16th birthday. And I did it, and it touched me emotionally. Like, I felt something when I looked at it, and I thought to myself, man, there's a lot of rappers that I think people miss, that I miss, that I'd like to capture. And it started the whole thing. Part of the brief, if you will, was to capture his sweetness. But in doing so, it unlocked something. And, you know, it's just weird. I actually cried painting each and every one of them a little bit because, you know, some of them are a huge loss for the world, I think. And it's a shame that we couldn't see them into their later years still making art. My first solo show was Questionable World Leaders, and they all had no background. And so I thought it a very big step up for me to do color in the background. So I made a list, and then I had colors and then rappers, and I would try to match up colors of significance with the portraits. And I think part of this is having people see Black people, Black skin in paintings, and have it in this town in Vancouver, Washington, because people don't see that. And most of the artists are white, and most of the art they produce is white people. And so I wanted people to be able to approach these figures and feel their humanity without judgment. It made me love it more and brought me closer to those artists. And, you know, I would do things like I would listen to their music while I'm painting them and things like that. So it really allowed me, and I would even talk to their spirits, and I would tell them, hey, I'm making you look good. Don't worry about it. I'm gonna have you looking fly. All these things. And sometimes I would tell them that I miss them. I don't know. It was kind of cathartic, but also definitely brought me closer to the art form. I've always thought, and I've told to whoever will listen, that our poets, the greatest poets alive right now, are making hip hop. And our Shakespeare's, you know, that's where they're at right now. These is where the greatest poetic minds are, because I think it's the way to make the most money with spoken words and poetry. But yeah, I wanted people to also acknowledge their talent and acknowledge their contribution to the world.